So, how do interface changes affect a nurse in the workplace? What risk do they impose to the patients in their care? These questions are best answered through an example. I invite you to put yourself in the shoes of a nurse in an emergency room. You are overloaded on a 12-hour workday, juggling many patients throughout this work shift, burdened by the many visual and audio cues around you by the telecom, other nurses and doctors needing you and your input, and many pieces of equipment surrounding you emitting these cues. You enter patient number one's room, where you are required to program an infusion on an IV pump. You approach IV pump A, as shown on my slide. It is the IV pump that you are most used to using, and you have built a strong mental model, a strong understanding of this pump with the practice you've accumulated over the years. You approach with confidence and complete the infusion with no errors. You enter patient number two's room, are also required to program an infusion. You approach IV pump B, a different IV pump, new IV pump that was recently purchased. This IV pump, although functionally the same, looks quite different. For example, the start and stop buttons are now combined. The start has now been changed to run. The essential buttons have been moved from the left to the top. The 0 and decimal point buttons have been moved from the bottom to the left. A setup button has now been added. A clear button has been removed. The select up and down arrows have been removed as well. So as you can see, many changes have happened. So your mental model is weak, as the only practice you have had is some basic training. You are also flustered as the day has been extra hectic, so you have trouble remembering the steps for completing the infusion correctly because of your weakened mental model, your weakened understanding. A mistake is made while inputting the infusion rate. You go to press clear, but instead you press 7 as it is the button that is now in its place, followed by the input of the correct infusion rate. Before you can notice your mistake, you're pulled away to another patient needing your attention. This error causes a heart attack in the patient and ultimately death. What if this nurse was presented with IV pump C, a totally buttonless interface, a totally buttonless IV pump where all the inputs are solely dependent on the touchscreen interface? The results from an experiment that I conducted showed that minor aesthetical changes, such as changing a button's color, does not impose additional cognitive load or affect a user's performance. However, changes that affect memory, such as changing a button's position, are where users are affected the most. These memory changes are similar to the differences shown in the IV pumps on my slide. Thank you.